All right, so today we're going to be reading the passage Navigation in the Age of Exploration. So let's look at the highlighted vocabulary that's in the passage already. What's that first word?
Maps.
Maps. What is a map?
It shows you where to go, and like if you're lost, you can look at it and it'll tell you where to go.
Okay, good. So is it only about landmarks?
No.
No, so there's all different types of maps, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's look at the next highlighted word. What is that word?
Landmark.
What is a landmark?
It's like a mark where the land is,
Give me an example.
like where you mark your land and
What's an example of a landmark?
It like shows where a spot is on a map.
Right, but what could be a landmark in the world? What
Like
grows?
a park,
Okay, a park. So what's in it?
grass.
Grass,
trees,
trees,
flowers.
maybe flowers. What about
Hotels?
mountains? Mountains.
Hills.
Okay. Let's flip the page, and I think there's one more word. What's that word?
Compass.
Compass. What is a compass?
It tells you if you're going east, southwest, or northeast.
Good.
Northwest.
So it tells us the directions. All right. So let's flip back to the first page and start reading. Ray, we're going to start with you.
Do you ever go on a trip with your family? How do the adults in your family find the places they want to visit? Do you write down directions? Do they use maps? Do they look for landmarks along the way? Do they have an electronic device that tells them where to turn?
Okay. Riley.
Early
European.
European explorers didn't have most of those things. Most sailors in those days stayed close to land and looked for familiar landmarks. However, this would not work for explorers. They could not look for familiar landmarks because they were sailing into unknown waters.
Okay.
Early explorers did have some maps, but they were not always accurate. So how did the explorers keep track of where they were? They had several tools that they might have used. One of them was a compass. A compass is a very simple device. It is just a little magnet that sits on a pin so it can spin. The pointer on the magnet points north. Back then, nobody knew why. Now we know it's because Earth has a magnet field, which is strongest at the poles. Magnets are attracted to the magnetic field of the North Pole.
Okay, let's everyone read that last paragraph right there.
Using a compass, a sailor could figure out direction was if he knew which direction was north. He would figure out south, east, and west. That was a big help.
Okay, good. So let's take a look at a map. okay, we are going to do an informative writing, a how-to writing today, and help them figure out how to get from point A to point B. So in the reading, what did they use to know which directions to go?
They used a compass.
A compass rose, and that helped you know when to go.
North, east, southwest.
Okay, good. So when we are writing an informative or how-to paper, what are some words that we use?
Northeast.
And those are directions. So what are some words that we use?
First.
Okay, good.
Second. Third. And fourth. And last.
Or last. Okay, good. So we want to keep these words in mind as we look at the map that I just handed out to you. So where does it say to start? Where's our starting point? Town Square. And where does it want us to get to?
School.
School. Okay. So if you look at your map key on the side, we know that there's a school and we know that there's a road. What do we need to add to that map key?
I would probably put like north, east, south.
Okay, so you want to add a compass rose. Okay, so go ahead and add a compass rose. So you can remind yourself anywhere on your paper.
Which way is it?
North goes up. But yeah, you can refer to that. Good. All right, what is that vocabulary word that we discussed at the very beginning? And there's these things on the map. What was that called?
Landmarks.
Landmarks. Okay, so we need to add that to your map key. So I'm going to draw a tree as my symbol and write landmarks on my key. Right here, Riley, in your map key. All right, landmarks.
And there's some houses too. Should we add houses?
You can if you want to add it next to your tree, just so you know that it's a landmark. All right, so today in our writing, you are going to use your how-to transitional words and write about, or to tell someone how to get from the town square to the school. Okay, so I want you to look at your map and think about how you're going to use these words and write how to give directions to someone. I love how Kylie is labeling hers so she doesn't get confused as she starts writing. Good, Kylie. Okay, so refer to your compass rose. So if you go up the road, which direction are you going? North. So Kylie labeled hers right here so she won't forget when she starts writing. But you can do it however you want. Okay, good. I love how Kylie starts with first, because that's the first thing she does. But Charlie starts hers differently, which is just as good. She says when you go up first. She doesn't start it the exact same way. Okay, Clay, so you have it labeled. So now let's start with our writing. Which words are you going to use first? Let's check to make sure you need some punctuation. Make
How
sure
do you
there's
spell
sentences.
east?
East, E-A-S-T. Make sure it makes sense. Can you use any of these words to help them know instead of just saying with a compass?
How do you spell south?
S-O-U-T-H. Okay, Charlie, can you use any of these words as you write? Okay. Third south. Does that make sense? And go south by what? What could we add in that sentence that would give a little bit more description?
I know.
Okay, Riley, read it again and make sure you have your punctuation. It's not a run-on sentence. When y'all finish up, I want you to switch with your shoulder partner. Clay and Riley, y'all can switch. Charlie and Kylie, y'all can switch. And proofread their see if they need to add anything. Okay, you can end it. Thank you. But I have 10 minutes, right?